Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rich. On today's podcast, me and the Don Ochoa get to talk a little bit about climate change, kind of get a little political, but don't want to overdo it. On top of that, we talk a little bit more about fun little comic book movies. We also bring up the Joker movie again, of course. Promise we won't keep talking about that. Maybe until after the movie comes out, of course, then we'll probably talk about it without any spoilers or anything. We're going to want to go ahead and do some sort of random drawing for all the people that are liking and subscribing and commenting on our YouTube page. So be sure to do that so you can take advantage of that. Probably going to be some sort of a Target or probably an Amazon gift card, something that people are actually going to use. And then, maybe mid-October we'll go ahead and do that drawing and then just email it to somebody. We'll kind of go from there. We're already getting a lot of support, which is really nice. I think the first pilot and the first episode, we already got over a couple hundred views already, so that's awesome. So keep up the support, guys, and we'll keep talking, and hopefully it gets better. I mean, we're obviously still in the beginning stages, but the only direction we could go is up, and I hope you guys enjoy this podcast. Deuces! No, but yeah, I should probably take a trip, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking I kind of want to go back up to South Dakota, but it'd just be more like to hang out with friends. But I do need to take like a trip. What?
Why is it red?
Oh, it just means it's recording.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, because I hit this little button right over there. But anyways, what's the date? September
26th, 2019.
19?
How about that climate change, bud?
Bud, I don't know how I feel about that. Okay, before we dive into it, let it be known. Okay, I'm a firm believer in climate change. I think everyone is just kind of, I don't want to say confusing it or anything like that, but I think it started off with, like when I was in high school or in elementary school, everyone was all like, oh, you got to look out for greenhouse gases, you got to look out for the ozone and blah, blah, blah. And then later on, was it Al Gore that tried to coin it? Global warming.
Oh, yes.
And now it's called climate change.
Yes.
And it's all essentially the same thing, right?
Yes.
It's just, and I think it's turned into a political thing because Al Gore made money off of it.
He made money off Man Bear Pig as well.
Because think about it. Ronald Reagan was a firm believer in, I guess what you would call now climate change. I think the first Bush Senior, right?
Yes.
He was a firm believer.
I believe so, yeah.
And they were all supporting it. And if you look at the history of it, and I should have probably done research on it. I didn't think we were going to dive into it this quickly. However, from what I remember the right being fairly pro climate change, and then the moment Al Gore made a profit off of it, and then they were all like, wait, dude, you got like a private jet and you're flying and all this other crazy stuff, and then all of a sudden it's turned into a political thing. So it's like, oh, if you're left wing, then you should be pro climate change, and then if you're right wing, you're anti, right?
Well, it's more really if you're left wing, you get the pro climate change. If you're right wing, you get the Christians, which they make their money off the churches.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
You get Joel Osteen versus Al Gore.
Yeah, you're right about that. Gosh,
that's a way to look at it. A lot of work, a lot of school.
Yes, a lot of school. I barely got any sleep yesterday.
Dude, how about last night's American Horror Story?
I didn't watch it.
Wow.
What happened?
I'm going to let you watch it before bringing it up, but let's just say it's been interesting. It's definitely gone back to the 1980s roots of horror. Not horrors, horror.
Horror with 2 R's with no W?
Yes.
So I'm going to be honest with you, I'm probably not going to watch it.
I would recommend it. If you haven't seen American Horror Story, this one's, you don't have to watch any of the other ones right now to be kind of into this one. I did watch the new South Park yesterday.
I loved it. Except, like I told you, I think it was just a little too quick.
A little too quick, but how about the whole ICE or ICE or however they want to call it in there? They made a good point on him, and they also made it pretty funny.
Was it the Jewish part?
It was the part, yeah.
The moment I heard that, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so true.
Yeah.
Because so what happens? So Carmen gets upset. Or Carmen sees an opportunity
to mess with Kyle.
With Kyle. And basically he calls ICE on them, saying that, I don't think he even said anything about them being Hispanic. He just said that there was like
he said there was some illegal activity going on, and Of course, they think illegal aliens.
Yep.
Part of the show is, they detain the Hispanics.
And they emphasize the ICE agents like, hey, we're just doing our job. Like, we're just gonna take you in. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
Because I mean, realistically, they are getting paid to do that.
It's
so I mean,
their job.
So that's what I like about South Park is they'll kind of dissect these political issues.
And it's not like they went full, hey, we hate ICE, or they went, hey, ICE is good guy. You know what I mean? They didn't go that route. But the whole part, see, when I first saw the trailer, I thought they were detaining Kyle's family because Ike is Canadian. I thought he was an illegal Canadian. So I thought that was what the whole thing was about. They were hostage. It turns out, I guess it was just because Cartman was messing with them. But the whole part where Kyle goes and explains to them, you guys could be creating the next evil villain.
Yeah.
Well,
the funny part was, like, I think they were kind of emphasizing, like, hey, you guys aren't very intelligent. Like, what was it? He's like, do you guys know what you're doing here? You guys are separating kids from families. Then they're all like, what? He's like, well, let me explain this in a better way. You guys like superhero movies, right? And then immediately catches their attention, like, yeah, we're relatable. And then he goes on to describe, like, well, you're basically traumatizing these children, and you could be creating, like, the next Joker. So the big joke is what?
The Mexican Joker.
The Mexican Joker.
Which is awesome, man.
Oh my god.
And South Park doesn't just have one plot. There's a side plot going on where Randy is fighting to keep his integrity, which is his marijuana plant, away from people who are growing their own stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the same argument everybody has, whether you're right or left, growing your own stuff where you could be putting pesticides in it that could hurt you, or you could just tell them to fuck off and you'll do your own thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, did you hear about those illegal grow ops or whatever?
Yes.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, yeah, they were. I think they were burned down, weren't they? Weren't they recently burned down?
Well, they're like all over. Yeah, they're all over,
yeah.
And they're thinking that that's how some of those fires in California started. Because what they'll do is they'll go ahead and go to like one of these national parks or these giant forest reservations or reserves or whatever you want to call them, and they'll just like start growing their own marijuana.
Yeah.
And then what? I don't even know how long does it take for marijuana to grow.
Dude, I've never grown marijuana.
2 months? I have no idea.
I don't know.
But I'm sure in the like perfect climate conditions, maybe a few months. So then they'll come back and then just like scoop it up and then sell it off, which is technically kind of smart. I mean, it's not like you're actively going on a hike looking for marijuana leaves.
Are people still profiting off marijuana?
I'm sure.
Other than companies or like people, like remember your drug dealer back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s even.
And now,
like it's not even now. Yeah. People still buy weed, but it's like I remember back then a dime used to cost a dime. Now it's like $5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose you're right.
It's crazy. It's now they got all the hydro and all this stuff type of weed.
Well, it's also like different strains too. Because think about it. I mean, it's just like you'll try out this like decent like entry level strand, and the next thing you know, everyone's getting all experimental, throwing the chemistry into it and making it even more active, I suppose.
I want to say after like 2012, that's when the whole like marijuana stopped being like as expensive as it was. Or even you can even say Pineapple Express, the movie, 2008.
That movie was so good.
It was good, but you can say it even had people saying, "Man, marijuana is not that bad," Because what real pot movies did you have? You had the Cheech and Chong movies that made it pretty cool to smoke weed.
That one like broke the ice, right, to the public?
And those was like the 70s, right? 80s. Yeah. Cheech and Chong, like Dan's not here, Dave's not here, man. Remember the whole joke?
Yeah.
And then you had Half Baked come out of the 90s.
Speaking of, remember last week we were talking about the memes? How you were trying to describe to me the Keanu Reeves one? Where he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because we had Matthew McConaughey, or I had Matthew McConaughey on the brain. I was thinking that you were talking about that meme, so I quoted that. I was listening to it when I was editing last week's podcast. And I kept it in there, but I'm all like, no one caught it yet. But I'm all like, the part where he's all like, sure be cool if you would, or whatever.
Yes.
I thought that's the meme you were talking about, and I got it mixed up. But anyways, Half Baked.
Half Baked was in the 90s. Early 2000s, what can you say was the big pop movie? Friday? Well, Friday was still 95. 95.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
There's a lot of pop movies, man.
Yeah, no, you're right about that.
But you coming from Sioux Falls, it's probably different, the demographic of movies you guys watch.
Or the Midwest, so yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
like here in Texas, California, and Florida, dude, that's all we watch is hood movies where
Mm-hmm.
just marijuana was the big thing, or crack was the big thing, or
Yeah.
coke was the big thing.
Well, I'm sure it's similar. I just remember watching movies like Bad Boys. What else? Can't think of any like crazy drug movies.
You probably watched, man. I'm sure you watched the Cheech and Chongs, no?
No, I never did.
Wow.
Nope. Hey, remember we had this conversation like I didn't watch like all your typical movies, but it's not like I watched like anything like significant. I think I was too busy like
At least you watched
like
all the
nerdy
superhero stuff and like Star Wars and stuff like that.
Actually, yeah, I didn't get into Star Wars until later. I remember it was in the late '90s, maybe 2000s when they re-released them in theaters.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, I saw Empire Strikes Back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this movie's so good. But it always bothered me how because Luke Skywalker was like the main hero, obviously. I mean, anyone walking in the theater, you could pick up any of those original three, and you could be like, oh, okay, the main hero is this.
But we all loved Han.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Han was the badass, and Chewie, man, come on.
But it just bothered me how towards the end of the movie, after the whole confrontation between him and Darth Vader, and then he gets his arm cut off, and I don't know if it just affected me negatively, or it just bothered me how a main hero got his arm cut off. Think about it.
Yeah.
What other character as a child or other hero that you kind of look up to gets some sort of amputation?
None.
It's crazy.
I'm trying to think of one.
And I think I was 10.
Yeah.
And I'm all wait, what? You just cut off his arm? So after that, I'm all wait, how's he gonna recover? What's gonna happen? And then he's hanging off of the Cloud City thing.
Yeah.
So I'm just all whoa, is the hero gonna die? What? And I think that's what makes Empire so great. Because think about it, any other trilogy where the villains win in the movie.
Infinity War.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that.
You gotta.
I was just gonna say that. But yeah, because realistically, I mean, you could probably take Age of Ultron out of the equation.
Well, yeah, but it's still part of the whole universe.
Which I read about. There was a big argument between, not Feige. Who's the guy that did the first one?
Wasn't it
Bald Ginger?
Yes, the guy that went to direct the. He directed Justice League after Snyder got kicked out.
Oh, really?
Yes. Golly, he's the director, right? You're talking about the director. Yeah. Anyways, what was the big fallout with those guys?
Oh, I guess Disney and him just weren't agreeing on things because they wanted to expand too much into the lore of Marvel.
Yes.
And the director that we're trying to think of, wanted to focus more on the story, so that's why it was so out there.
Yes, it was dude, that was probably the worst Avengers movie, but that's still saying that's top 12 Marvel movie.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely up there, but the thing is, I mean, if you're going to be comparing anything,
yeah,
there's always going to be a worse one.
But you can always tell when a new director takes over, because wasn't Brian Singer supposed to direct all the X-Men movies, and then when they kicked him out, they just instantly started sucking. Remember that?
Yeah, but the First Class, those were good.
He directed those. He came back to direct First Class, Days of Future and Past, and he was going to get Apocalypse.
Dude, that movie sucked.
Yeah, it was Ivan Ooze basically from Power Rangers.
Okay, that movie I think it ruined superhero movies for me. Realistically, because think about it. Because okay, so you've got the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
You've got the X-Men part of Fox.
Yeah.
And then what else is there?
Silver Surfer kind of ruined it for me, man.
Yeah, but that was pre Cinematic Universe.
Oh.
I'm talking post Cinematic Universe.
You gotta say the Fantastic Four, the remake.
Oh, I didn't even bother.
That's how bad that movie was.
That movie was so... I didn't even bother.
So bad.
Same with the Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Garfield.
Was that during Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, so my whole thing is okay, so you've got this whole great moment of superhero movies. They all kind of coexist with each other. They all have their own little universe. And let's be honest, we kind of had a dry spell right before Iron Man came out, right? Okay, so Iron Man came out. You're like, holy shit, this movie's amazing. Then it's Hulk, which was good for its time. Now that you watch it, you're like, oh, okay, this really isn't that good. I mean, it's not terrible. Then you got all these other movies leading up to Avengers, and then you got the Guardians of the Galaxy, and all this other crazy stuff. You're like, holy crap. Other side of the spectrum, you've got X-Men. Okay? So X-Men was doing all right, and then after the Marvel Cinematic Universe started, they decided, like, hey, let's revert. Let's go back to First Class. And then they started getting better, and you're like, oh my gosh, things are just going up. And then the X-Men movies come out with Apocalypse, and you're like, oh, this movie was terrible. So then you start looking at all the other movies. You're like, oh my gosh, are we done? Like, are they gonna start getting worse? But
it did get worse.
Yeah, it's terrible, man.
Dark Phoenix. But what you can say in that, man, is I guess the last way they went was like Days of Future and Past, which is amazing. If you ever seen Days of Future, it's
that movie
probably
was great.
It may be the best other than X2.
Best way to do time travel.
Yes, that was definitely the best. But look at what they made right after Days of Future and Past.
The Apocalypse one, right?
No, Logan.
Oh, Logan.
And that movie was amazing.
Yeah.
And they tried to save their asses with Deadpool. You know how Fox.
Wait, Deadpool was good.
Yeah, but part 2 wasn't as good as part 1. Part 1 gave us like something we weren't expecting.
Well, it was an awe factor.
Yeah.
Do you think superhero movies are going to get darker?
If DC can do it right, I think they can.
I think DC's done.
I don't think they're done.
I don't think they're going to go with the universe anymore.
I wouldn't mind it because Christopher Nolan, if they just did a Batman universe, just get rid of Wonder Woman, and maybe throw them in there every once in a while into Batman's universe.
Yeah.
That's going to make you money.
Yeah.
Because that's how it's always been. Batman, the animated series, probably the best other than maybe Spider-Man, the animated series for Marvel side.
Well, Batman got an Emmy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, like Marvel and DC compared to DC AEU or whatever, Batman would have cameos from, Nightwing, which was part of his universe and stuff. And I think, didn't they even have like a Static Shock cameo like in one of the episodes?
It was either that or the other way around.
Or yeah, maybe Batman
was
Static Shock.
Static Shock, you're right.
Yes. And then Batman was even jumped in Superman's world. He jumped in, I think they even had the Wonder Woman cartoon. Batman was the Justice League Unlimited, basically. Like, you didn't want to watch an episode if it didn't have Batman in it,
Yeah, because wasn't there a series without Batman?
Justice League? Or was it you talking about Teen Titans?
No, I'm talking about Justice League. Or did they all have Batman?
They all had Batman pretty much in it. Remember he made the cameo?
Because I remember watching a couple episodes and being like, where the fuck is Batman?
Yeah.
But the Avengers cartoon was like that, though, wasn't it? Like, it just had, like, Hawkeye and a couple other peeps.
Yeah.
It didn't really have Iron Man, Captain America.
It had kind of like the B Avengers. The
like
Avengers.
Ant-Man and all them.
Yeah, but hey, the MCU made them good. But like I was, going back to the Batman thing, if DC stays with just a Batman universe, and hey, look, Superman's here to beat them. They introduce a Lex Luthor in Batman's universe. Another billionaire coming to Gotham, and Superman's there to like fight him or whatever.
Yeah,
he's in Batman's hometown. You don't even have to make another Superman movie. It's basically gonna be Batman introducing Superman, kind of like what they did in Civil War.
Well,
where Black Panther was more developed than he was in his own movie.
That's Yeah, that's one thing that drives me crazy. Like, people are always like, "Oh, Black Panther is such a great movie," but it's like, dude, Black Panther was better in someone else's movie than in his own movie. Yep. But I get it. It was just like, it was kind of an origin, kind of a solo movie, I guess, or a continuation. Actually, you bring up a valid point about that, where, like, think about it. With DC, they're all based out of their own city. It's like the characters were created for their own ecosystem. Whereas with Marvel, Doctor Strange, damn well that his sanctum is in New York. You know that Spider-Man's from Brooklyn. Or no, Queens. Was it Queens? It was Queens. That's where he's from. Cap is from Brooklyn. And all this other nonsense, it's all based out of New York. Versus DC, they've got their own little fictional cities. You've got Gotham Metropolis, right? Mm-hmm. And then Flash is from what? Was it West City? Something City? Something weird.
Yeah, he's from like West City. You got Diana living in the Amazon. You got the Green Lantern Corps. They're kind of based everywhere.
Yeah.
But even with the MCU, the movies that are really good, don't they feel like they're an Iron Man movie more than they're... Because Tony Stark steals the show, right?
Yeah, well, and about that, there's a lot of arguments with like, okay, so this whole fallout within Disney and Sony, and everyone's all like, well, Spider-Man in the Marvel universe is just, like walking in the footsteps of Iron Man, of Tony Stark, right? That's
pretty much what they were looking
everyone's
at.
all like, well, all these villains like Mysterio and Vulture, they're just basically
Tony
they
Stark
have some
created.
sort there's some sort of a relationship with Tony Stark, whether it's like, oh, they took our contract to dismember these aliens.
Can I interrupt you real
Yeah,
quick?
go ahead.
Aren't they the Mexican Jokers that Tony Stark created by treating
Yeah,
them bad?
you're probably right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flashbacks.
You're entirely right.
Flashbacks.
Yeah.
Remember, dude, each movie had a flashback.
Yeah.
So...
Well, but the thing is, like, looking at it objectively, like, think about it like this. Like, what, all these superheroes were written in the 60s, a couple of them in the 50s, and so on and so forth, right? And they were all introduced together. However, in this cinematic universe, you've got Iron Man, and they all kind of start from there, right? Okay. But then as the timeline goes forward, like, 6 years, you're introducing all these new characters. But you have to catch them up to all these other characters. So it's easier that way, making them relatable. Because then what? After this next Spider-Man, hypothetically, I'm sure like he's in the same time frame as everybody else finally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas like I'm sure if you started Spider-Man with Iron Man, it would have just continued forward.
Yeah.
Right? So I guess it makes sense how they did it, and I'm not mad about it.
But like again, it's something I was telling you. That made I don't care that they changed the origin story of Mysterio and they changed the origin story of Vulture. You know what I mean? Because they weren't related to Iron Man in the comics at all.
Not at all.
But I wouldn't mind if DC did that. I think they try to stick too true. You know what I mean? And it doesn't work.
Yeah, because the thing is, if I want something that's true, then I'm gonna go to the comic book shop and get a comic.
Nobody's been, with the exception of Captain Marvel, nobody's been pissed off about an MCU movie.
The thing is, like, Captain Marvel's fine as a character. I just don't like Brie Larson. Like, I get it. Like, there's a lot of, like, bad hype around her. But for every Brie Larson that I don't like, there's probably 2 male actors that I don't like either. So it's not like a...
It's not sexist or anything.
Yeah, it's not like a sex thing. It's just like, if you've ever seen... Like, if you ever watch one of her interviews, I kind of want to cringe. And I get it. Like, she's trying to push this, like, idea, which is fine.
Agenda, yes, I understand.
But, like... For every Brie Larson I don't like, I like Sigourney Weaver's and Uma Thurman's, So it's
Jennifer Lawrence, I think, would have been a perfect Captain Marvel. I know people hate her because she's Mystique, and they made the X-Men movies a little bit more about Mystique. But weren't they great?
Yeah, no, I think she was good. Gosh, there were a couple other good actresses. I just don't like Brie Larson.
Dude, I just think Jennifer Lawrence, man, the Hunger Games, she could have did it, man. I think they kind of blackballed her in that and forced, the Disney agenda.
Yeah.
Brie Larson's agenda.
Yeah, because how old is Jennifer Lawrence now?
She's like 32, maybe.
Yeah, she would have been a perfect Captain Marvel.
Carol Danvers, you mean?
Carol, yeah.
But, man, going back to that... we were talking about Star Wars. How about the news that George Lucas doesn't like this new trilogy?
I barely read a title on that.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I didn't even read into it. I think it was just something that was titled aggressively, so to catch my eyes.
Well, I read part of it, and it said that he was sitting in the room with Kathleen Kennedy, the new president of Star Wars for Disney, and he gave them all the notes to make the new one, and Disney's like, your last 3 movies kind of sucked, so we're gonna redo it ourselves. Turns out Disney didn't do it themselves; they just did what everybody else wanted them to do, which is push this movie out that kind of like, I don't want to say relatable because not everybody relates to these movies anymore. Like back then, it's like, oh man, you're going through a journey, you're learning all this stuff as you go. Versus Ray's instantly good at everything in these new movies. But yeah, George Lucas wasn't too fond of the idea. He gave them everything.
Yeah.
Hey, like, I'm not gonna make them no more. You guys bought me out. Here's a script. At least
here's an idea.
Use some ideas. And they scrapped everything apparently.
Well, my whole thing is like, make me fall in love with the character.
I can't. I hate
Well,
Kylo Ren.
But no, that's what I'm saying though. Like, I feel like they're trying to cater to everyone to make everyone happy, but it's all like, let the movie tell the story and let me fall in love with the character.
Mm-hmm.
And that just shows how good of an actor or an actress they are.
Who did you fall in love with in the original 3? Easy.
In the original what?
Original 3.
All the main characters.
But who did you fall in love with? Let's
Han Solo.
And who did you fall in love with in the next 3?
The original 3?
No, the next 3, right? They're prequels.
The prequels.
It's easy.
I would probably say Qui-Gon Jinn, of course. And then...
Yeah, because it was Liam Neeson.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he was Schindler's List. Come on.
Yeah, and he was also the Lion. And he was also Zeus. He also trained Batman. Let's not forget that,
Ra's al Ghul. Or Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul. Yeah. I mean, basically just the main characters they followed.
Obi-Wan
Kenobi, and Anakin.
Great. Well, see, we didn't love Anakin. That's one we didn't love. Hayden Christensen. But we loved Mace Windu.
We did like... No, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
You know, so if Disney didn't think there was a strong black lead, Mace Windu was a strong black lead.
Yeah.
I'm just surprised the motherfucker didn't fly out of his mouth when he was killing Palpatine. Remember that?
Oh yes. So someone should deep fake that scene and have him say motherfucker.
I want to say they have.
That would be funny.
We'll play it next time.
But we talked about this movie every episode, and I think we're gonna talk about it again. And that's the Joker.
Oh yes.
Okay, just briefly, because there's been a lot of talk about like not gonna go see the movie during opening night because of the last Joker movie.
Oh.
You know.
Well, it was really it was because it was not because of the Dark Knight, but it was about the Dark Knight. It was the Dark Knight Rises that they shot up. The Bane movie.
Dark Knight. No, it wasn't.
It was the Bane movie. Yeah, he shot up the Bane movie.
No, I thought it was the Joker one.
The Joker one came out in 2008.
What? No, that's what
the Bane. He said he was the Joker, but he shot up the Bane.
Oh, yeah. Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. The Colorado kid.
Yeah. So that was during the Bane one.
Mm-hmm. The Dark Knight Rises.
What? Okay, I'm gonna.
Heath Ledger was dead.
Well, Heath Ledger was dead before they released Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. And he won. Didn't he win the Oscar for that?
He fucking better have. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah. Best Supporting Actor, I think it was.
Yeah, Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's crazy. Yeah. Hey, I listened to a theory about the Joker, and I think I could see it. Have you seen Fight Club?
Yes.
Have you seen American Psycho?
Yes.
What do those characters have in common?
They're crazy schizos.
Yep, that kind of see a world in their own head.
Yes.
What if the Joker's like that?
Oof.
Think about it.
Spoiler warning.
No, I don't think it's a spoiler. Nah. I think it's a theory because it's all in the trailers. Because if you break down the trailer, he's always like really sad. He's really depressed. You know, he's obviously got some issues. There's signs of schizophrenia, like when you look at his notepad, like there's different writing patterns and everything like that. And then he'll randomly, like there's that scene where he's walking with the crowd of like everyone with the clown mask and everyone's cheering, and he's just like walking by like, yeah, what's that, you know? And then, so I wonder if it's all in his head, which, how crazy would that be where everything's just like a combination where it's all in his head and then towards the end, like the climax, it all blends together and then he actually becomes the Joker.
You know, you said, what was the comparison to Fight Club and American Psycho? What's another comparison to those movies?
I don't know. What are you getting at?
Dude, they were both amazing.
Oh, they were fucking amazing. And then Joker had a, 8-minute standing ovation?
Yes.
Yeah. Gosh.
Dude, American Psycho, that scene where they're just looking at each other's cards. Yes. That scene gives me chills.
Eggshell white.
Does it not give you chills watching that scene though?
Oh, that's so good.
Oh my god.
And then what's his face? And then, what's his face was in both of those movies?
Edward Norton?
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto was in that.
Jared Leto was killed, and then he was also the bleached hair guy who also ended up playing a terrible Joker.
Wow, that's a crazy connection.
I actually just made that. Yeah, that's crazy.
I don't think it was his fault being that bad of a Joker. That movie overall was bad. Harley Quinn was maybe the only good thing out of that movie, but even then, I think she was overhyped.
Well, I think as a character, I think she's just overhyped.
They ruined Killer Croc, bro.
Killer Croc was not? Oh yeah, he was.
They ruined, dude. That's one of my favorite Batman villains. Is Killer Croc.
Yeah,
because he's not a bad guy. He's technically not a bad guy.
He's just misunderstood.
He's pretty much the lizard guy from Spider-Man.
Yeah, the lizard wanted to make everyone else lizards.
Yeah, that got kind of weird.
Like weird shit. Yeah. Which is so. Some of this stuff is so weird.
Speaking of that, Batman plot for the new movie. You hear what they're talking about?
Long Halloween.
I was hearing, yeah, it could be based off the Long Halloween because of it's more street. This Batman's gonna be more street.
And I think that's something that some of these superhero movies need to get back to, like more of a noir.
Yeah,
because that's how you bring up the Batman animated series. That was like that.
Yeah, it was. So was Christopher Nolan though. Christopher Nolan didn't have a guy with super strong strength or anything.
You're right. They basically took someone like in our timeline or in our present state, and it's like, hey, how could I make this person a Batman? That's where they involved like all these little military applications and created a Batman suit, and then even like think about it, like Joker wasn't all over the top. I mean, okay, so he was over the top for like as a character, but like realistically, he was just a freaking psychopath, you know?
Yeah.
And then Scarecrow was freaking perfect. Like it was just a nerve agent. Like that's all it was. And then Bane, I mean that was a bit crazy, but like
but was he crazy? Because they made Bane more street.
Oh no, it was like it was crazy but I mean there's an explanation between everything. It was just all terrorism.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's something that can happen. You know what I mean?
I wonder. Actually, now that I bring that up, I wonder because when was the last movie about like terrorism? Well, like that was the threat.
Independence Day.
Yeah, but that was like an alien terrorism.
Oh, you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about like
Middle East terrorism.
I feel like after 9/11, there were a lot of terrorist movies.
Well, there was like American Sniper. There was 1300 Hours about the Benghazi thing. Mm-hmm. Then they had.
Well, that was just to make Hillary look bad, huh?
No, actually, it wasn't. It
happened
to tie into her being bad.
That's just what the news was trying to tell me.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of the news, back to climate change. I don't think anyone's on the fence.
Yeah.
Like it's not like someone's right in the middle and they're all like, "Hey, just push me one direction so I can like agree with it."
The thing with climate change to me is I agree with you. I don't think it should be political. I think there should be places that just work on it. You know what I mean? If you really care about the environment, just go figure it out. You know what I mean? Don't keep it out of the news unless it has to be like, hey man, we're gonna die if this doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, realistically, eventually it's gonna happen because we're just renting this planet.
Because right now, whether you're Democrat or Republican, you're using it in your political agenda, and this is something that. Even if climate change turns out to be something completely fake, once you get the best scientists on it.
Well, okay. So, wait. So, you can't say that climate change isn't real, though.
I think, the times are changing, but are we at the end of the Ice Age?
Okay. So, you bring up Ice Age.
Mm-hmm.
So, you and I can both agree that there was an Ice Age, right?
There was proven facts, yeah.
Okay. And eventually everything cooled down, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As we're throwing more carbon into the air, we're actually speeding up that process. There's also more factors into it. It's also the position of the Earth and how we're just circulating around the sun, and that position could fluctuate a little bit. So that's a factor as well. But yeah, you can't deny that everything is heating up. But also at the same time, you have to think about. Now, I'm just looking at this objectively. Again, I'm sure a lot of you guys that know me. I'm more of a 90s Democrat because things are a little crazy right now, because like I can agree with the right not believing in climate change or in science. Let's just say they don't believe in, a large majority or whatever. I'm just generalizing here. But then when the left starts denying science in certain aspects, which I won't mention, it's like, come on, guys. Like when it comes to like science, we can't cherry pick this. Like I can't enjoy my cell phone here and Google things and appreciate the science that made the cell phone, but then deny certain like other aspects.
It's like people who drive Priuses.
Yeah. Well, and that's
what they're trying to save the environment, but also creating the car kind of hurt the environment.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, so as a civilization, we've adapted to this. If I want to go somewhere, I have to drive my car, right?
Or you can get a bike.
Or I can get a bike. You're right. So, I mean, in that case, how do we fix it? I mean, we're not scientists. Like, I'm studying biology. I don't know anything about all that nonsense. But like let's do the for dummies version.
You know, they're working on clean coal. You know that they've been working on it since forever. They're trying to find ways to make it easier. It's just we need a lot of these things that we use. You know, like the cows. Apparently, cow farts go into the air and they mess up the whole environment ecosystem. Well, we need to eat cows, and people are like, oh no, we don't. We can make this grass plant. You know, but then we got to take supplements as well. That even some of my vegan friends, as annoying as they can be, have to take supplements.
Remember when I was vegan? I had to take like iron and shit like that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Well, the thing is, okay, realistically, like, if we never heated up meat and ate it and got those proteins to make our brains evolve, if we never did that, we would not be having this conversation about the choice of being vegan.
Yeah.
Like, realistically, like, we wouldn't have that conversation. So at least be thankful at that part that our ancestors got to that point.
Yeah.
But I think also at the same time, we're kind of looking at things more of like in a perspective of our personal lifespans.
Yeah.
Right? We don't take into account all the situations that got us to this point. So it's all like, hey, maybe we should be a little bit more thankful for that.
Absolutely, but instead we hate our ancestors.
So yeah,
we're in a country where we hate our ancestors, and I think, like, geez, they gave you the opportunity to speak out against this. You know what I mean? They gave you freedom of speech. They gave you this, and this. You know, and it's like, no, we're gonna hate these guys because they made us either a girl or a boy, or
my ancestors were still chilling in Europe. They're like, what are you guys doing over there? You guys are leaving? What? We got everything so good here.
Yeah, you Europeans.
Yeah, but
you're pretty far from European, man.
Well, I was raised in the States, but
I mean, like, you're pretty far from European. You have no accent. You have nothing.
I was raised speaking English.
Do your parents have an accent?
Yeah, my mom's got a very aggressive. Like, might as well, right?
You know who else is from Austria?
Arnold.
The Terminator.
Everybody get down. The Terminator.
Would you say the Terminator is his most famous role, or would you say the guy from Predator?
Total Recall. No, not Total. Oh, not Total Recall. True Lies, best Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
No, but I mean, like, what's he most iconic for?
I'd probably say it has to be
right?
Terminator. I mean, it has to. I mean,
he was the last action hero. Don't forget.
Yeah, dude, I did not like that movie.
But that was the last action movie that came out in a long time. I didn't bring this up. Rambo. Saw it Saturday.
Yeah, I was meaning to ask you, did you like it?
Oh my gosh, bro! If you've never seen a Rambo movie, and this is not to offend anybody, but if you love America, you love Rambo movies, man.
What?
He's that American that just goes out there and he just wants to be left alone, man. And people just keep messing with the guy. He's like John Wick before John Wick.
Sounds like my boy Wolverine trying to have a cabin in Canada.
Wasn't that Magneto?
No, Magneto's trying to.
No, remember Magneto in one of the movies?
Oh he was in Poland or whatever. He was in Poland because they were speaking Polish, which sounds similar to Slovak, which I actually understood what they were saying.
Really?
Yeah, it was crazy. I'm all like, what language? I had to actually Google it because, or no, it said on the bottom that they were in Poland, right? And that was Days of Future, right?
Yes.
Dang.
That movie was so good.
Yeah, it was really good. What you got planned today? Yeah, because you seem pretty busy.
Yeah, I'm actually, man, trying to catch up on sleep.
Dude, me too.
They call it The Shining. No, I'm just kidding.
The Shining?
No.
Wait, is it a sleep metaphor?
The movie's called Dr. Sleep, or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, it's got Ewan McGregor in it playing the little boy from The Shining.
Yes.
It's just funny stuff to me, man.
It's gonna be good, dude. Hey, by the way, yesterday I had a moment in class. Mm-hmm. Actually, I get a lot of jokes from this class. Not like jokes, but like just funny moments.
What class are you taking?
English comp. Just comp 1, just writing. I actually have to write this scholarship. Actually, that's what it was about. So get this. Obviously I'm taking classes here in Austin, Texas.
Technically Kyle, Texas.
Kyle, Texas. Okay.
It's like 15
You're right.
minutes from Austin.
Okay, so there's a lot of, you would probably agree with me, there's a lot of Hispanics that live down here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm in this comp class, and they're talking about scholarships, and the professor's just kind of going through like a whole checklist of like things that you need to check off as you're filling out this application. Like there's little radial buttons that you select, and one of them asks, "Are you a citizen?" The response was yes, no, or permanent resident, me being a permanent resident, I raised my hand and I'm all like, hey, does not being a citizen prevent me from not getting a scholarship? And everyone in the classroom looks at me like, what? There's some white dude? You're not a citizen? It was so funny. And the greatest part as well, I was wearing a Captain America shirt.
You don't have an accent.
I don't have an accent.
So they're probably like, man, what the hell?
Yeah, they're probably like, what is wrong with this kid?
You know, wait till you tell them that you're, No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right? They're like,
They're
get
gonna
out
freak
of here.
They're gonna freak out. And they're all gonna be Mexicans kicking you out.
Hey, you, get out of here. Yeah, right?
They're gonna be like, get out of here. You're not welcome here.
Yeah, like, we don't take kindly your tops.
And then you're created and turned into the Mexican Joker.
Then I'm going to be the Austrian Joker. No, I'm just joking.
Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, Mexican Joker, we're using it as somebody who gets basically flashbacked into becoming evil. I don't know how to explain it.
South Park did a great job
No, but
explaining
if people hear us, using
oh, yeah, they're going to, like, take this little snippet. They're like, you guys down there are talking shit. I love that. I love that, like, that aggressive southern white voice.
I'm still telling you, they took her jobs
They
from
took
South
her
Park.
dirt.
Dude, that was the first time I had heard anybody make fun of the southern accent like that. Dude, I lost it. I could not handle it. Dude, I think I was in elementary school or middle school.
When that episode came out?
Yeah, when the illegal future aliens came.
Yeah.
And they took her jobs.
Oh my gosh, was that long ago?
Dude, and then I was saying it in school and I got suspended, I think, because they said I was making fun of this little kid.
Remember the Chimpokemon one? Like, Chimpokemon.
Oh, man. Hey, speaking of that, I was watching Pokemon I Choose You on Netflix. I can't watch Pokemon like I used to watch it as a kid.
Dude, I never watched it.
I watched it as a kid.
Really?
Yeah.
I played the games, and that's pretty much it.
Speaking
you
of
remember
games,
how good I was.
Sword and Shield.
I'm not getting it.
I'm going to get the DS Lite or whatever it's called.
The Switch Lite?
The Switch Lite.
I texted Grant, because we kind of have this joke.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember at Kia, I got everyone to buy a 3DS?
Yes.
He always makes this joke. He's like, yeah, I remember getting a DS because my gay friend down there told me to get one. And I'm like, yeah, I did get you guys all to get one. Because we were playing Smash Bros. On DS, like, at work. Ah, so fun.
I'm still selling cars.
Still selling cars like a boss. I think I was still averaging, like, 14 down there, which isn't that bad.
We were all doing good. As long as you played the DS, you were doing good.
Oh, yeah, you were kind of in the clique. But anyways.
Even Rodrigo bought one, didn't he?
Yeah, he got one, too. Yeah. But I remember I actually texted Grant. I'm like, hey, bud, you should probably get a Nintendo Switch Lite so you can play me on Smash Bros. Yeah. And then my full brother actually just got a Switch too, and we're all playing Smash online as well, so that's really freaking cool.
Yeah.
But
the thing with Nintendo games, man, the only thing with Nintendo games,
they're so good.
They're great, but the thing with me is
here we go.
I love realness and
they
graphics.
They don't have God of War in it.
Yeah. And I wanna,
that's you, man.
And I want to play Batman Arkham Knight.
Yeah, that's actually kind of disappointing that they haven't ported that to it.
It's just they're putting The Witcher on there. So
okay, I'm sure it's inevitable though. Like, think about it, because they just came out with a trilogy because you just got it, right? The Arkham.
I got the 2 games. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Arkham Asylum, Arkham City. Dude, I didn't realize Arkham City was that hard.
It's so good though.
It's so good, but it's so hard.
I remember just playing hours on the part where you just pick a character and you just like max combos in old room.
Dude, the missions are so hard.
They're so fun though.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. Hey, as you look at your Apple Watch there, you know what I've noticed? I don't know, just how people look at their Apple Watches or a position they'll do. You can tell it's a new Apple Watch when they look at it like this, when they raise up their elbow and put their wrist up in the air. And they have to look down on it. Like what? Like, look, it's a normal, just look at it like a normal watch.
Dude, for $300, it's the best watch you can buy if you have an iPhone.
I was thinking about...
Just like the Android one will be the best one for the Android. It just connects to your phone. It's convenient. When people call you, you don't have to pull out your phone every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You can just look at it on your phone and be like, oh, I'm not answering that. Click.
Actually, I kind of want to get an Apple Watch, I had one, but then I ended up getting rid of it because I'm like, But now that I don't have one anymore, I was thinking about getting one so I can like keep track of like heart rates and all this other nonsense. And also at the same time was like at the gym, I hate carrying my phone around. I absolutely hate it. So like to control my music and all this other crazy stuff, especially with like Apple Music and all that nonsense. But other than that, what else is going on? see, you got Joker coming out. You got that. Kind of dabbled on that climate change, but I know it's kind of a sensitive subject, so I don't want to get too much into it. I mean, we just started this, so I don't want to lose viewership. But
Yeah, I'm gonna say what else is coming up. I didn't see Ad Astra yet. I want to see it.
they got bad reviews, didn't it?
Yeah, by the fans. I pay more attention to the fan reviews than Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, we were
I think
talking about that.
We talked about that last time, but if I go watch it, I think we should definitely talk about it a little bit. And then it's pretty. Let me see what else is coming out, man. I know Joker. That's not till next week.
Mm-hmm.
And that for sure I want to talk about as soon as I see it. And yes, I may go opening night to see it. I'll probably go to an Alamo Draft House.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're typically one of the best places to watch movies.
Yeah, they're really comfy. The one in Butte is freaking legit. Not Alamo, but it was not Evo.
The Spot?
The Spot, yeah.
Spot.
'Cause it's right by my gym over there. But
yeah, the Spot in San Marcos. It's not bad. You can get food there.
they got like a bar and everything. It's like real fancy. I'm all like, I felt like when I walked in there, I'm like, should I be paying a cover charge for this or?
Dude, speaking of that, we drank at Alamo Draft House. It was pretty expensive, man.
Really?
I paid like $6 for a 12-ounce beer, and I'm like,
For a beer?
yeah. And me, you know me. I'm used to going to Twin Peaks or Hooters and kidding me.
Hooters.
$6 is gonna give me a 24-ounce monster. You know what I mean?
Hey, so actually, you think it's probably like a convenience thing? Like, you know, whenever you go to like a football game, usually it's
It is.
overpriced. It has to be.
Yeah, we went to go see Toby Keith. I told you that, right?
No, you were telling me that you went to go to the UT game.
I didn't even tell you about that. We ended up not going to watch Rambo. It's too hot in that stadium.
Well, yeah, it's open field, isn't it? Like there's no roof.
See, I'm an indoor stadium kind of guy.
Is there an indoor stadium here?
Not here, but in Houston, the Texans have it indoor. The Astros have it indoor for baseball.
Yeah.
The Rangers. Oh, the Cowboys have it indoor as well.
Oh, I'd hope so. Didn't they just build that like a few years back?
Yeah, I think they're going to remodel the Texas one, though, and get it indoor.
Like
it'd be
Houston?
smart. Yeah, it'd be smart to do it indoor, man. You get so many more people to fit in there, you know?
They should probably move it, too. Like, actually, it's funny. We were just talking about, like, the lack of rain last week. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then during that time, Houston was getting flooded.
Here, we didn't get anything. We got maybe a couple drops.
Yeah.
It sucked, man. It was terrible.
Dude, that's crazy. Yeah, I think after this, I'm going to go up north. I got to finish this silly little paper. I got all this other homework. He gave us like a shit ton of homework for composition. Some of it's due like Sunday at 9 p.m. and I can get off at 8. So it's like, I got to, might as well do it right now, you know? Oh, and then I got to pick up, I did reserve that Link amiibo. It's waiting for me at Best Buy. I don't think I'm going to get the game. I think I'm just going to get the thing. And then I think I'm moving. I packed all my stuff. I'll be moving, I think, tomorrow. I got to talk to my girl and be like, hey, when do you want me to just drop off the stuff? Because I don't want to do it at an inconvenient time.
Are you moving in with somebody?
Yeah. She's got 3 dogs. When I say dogs, I might as well say horses. They're Great Danes.
Oh,
They're huge. And then one of them looks like Benedict Cumberbatch. So every time she posts a photo of it, I always Google an image of Benedict Cumberbatch and then put it as a comment.
Oh.
It's hilarious. And then after that, after I move in, I think I should be good. And then we got to figure out how we're going to record then. I mean, you could probably still come over. There's just going to be dogs in the background. They're chill dogs. It's not like they're always barking, you know? And then I have to go actually to the Highland Community College campus because they're doing the transfer fair.
What is that?
Like to transfer. And you know who's going to be there? Colorado. Yeah, Colorado State University and University of Colorado.
Yeah.
So I can transfer my credits up there.
Go to Colorado.
I just said that.
No, but don't go to State University. Go to Colorado.
Colorado
College. The Buffaloes.
Is it Bison or Buffaloes?
I think it's Buffaloes.
It's one of those. It's like green, right?
Yeah.
Wait.
No. It's the Bison one. I think it's Colorado State. Buffaloes are the gold ones.
Wait, I'm not gonna go because of a football team.
No. I hate the football team, but at least you'll be a Pac-12 student. You know what I mean?
What's that mean?
Pacific 12. This is part of the conference.
Oh, okay.
Which is awesome because then you can go to California. Like sometimes they pay for student games, I'm sure, so you can go to Cali for a weekend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I go to like Oregon or something like that.
There you can go to Oregon. You can go to
yeah.
Oregon State. You can go to all those places, man.
Yeah. Oh, dude, we gotta get more sleep.
Dude, I'm telling you.
I'm fucking tired.
Dude,
like
living in this city makes you tired. Dude,
yeah.
we were registered as one of the top cities for traffic.
It's terrible. Yeah, one of my coworkers actually shared something on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, hashtag one of the reasons I want to get the fuck out, you know? Because the thing is, what? How many hours do you get a day?
At work?
24?
Oh, no. It doesn't even feel like 24.
That's the thing, dude. You waste an hour of it on the road. Like, that's not efficient at all.
Mm-mm.
But, oh, that's just me. Like, every time I'm on my way home from work and stuff like that, I'm like, fuck, if I live just a little closer or whatever. But then I shouldn't have to, like, live next to my work.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just silly. And then, I don't know. It's fucked up, man. But I guess you got to be efficient. You got other podcasts to listen to. You know, I'll probably listen to this, actually, on the way up to Highland, so I can do the edits. So there were a couple rough spots, but should be fine.
No, we're good, man.
The shitty part is, like, doing it this early, we have to be kind of sensitive with topics. Like, I mean, and let's be honest, let's kind of hit the fourth wall right now. Like, even having this climate change conversation, let's be honest. Like, even I would felt kind of awkward. But it's like, hey, I got to walk on fucking eggshells just to get a point across. Because, like, I guarantee, like, realistically, and I don't know how much we're going to edit out of this, but I think it's actually, now that I'm kind of having this conversation, I think it's kind of interesting that we were able to kind of throw it out there. But, like, the topic about, you know, we brought up religion, we brought up climate change, we brought up leftist and rightist ideology, and I felt kind of awkward. Not like awkward, but it's just like, okay, I got to be kind of careful talking about this shit.
I didn't tip your toe once, I'll be honest.
You didn't?
No.
I kind of did, because, like...
Because, again, I don't hate either side.
Mm-hmm.
I just disagree with both sides.
I think,
you know
okay,
what I mean?
my whole thing on it is, like, I think it's important to look at things objectively, and, like, to avoid the hypocrisy of things.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Because we think in the same way as if somebody hands you something, instead of just taking it, you say why.
Yeah. One more thing, actually, because I know we're getting pretty close. This doesn't even tell me what time. When did you get here? Like an hour ago?
We started, I think, at 12:30.
Damn.
12:20.
Okay. So before we wrap this up, I want to make a comment. So, you know I follow Tulsi Gabbard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know she was one of the only people that voted for, or that nominated Bernie Sanders for the DNC?
Mm-mm.
Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
And I'm just like, But anyways, fun little fact for everybody. My girl Tulsi Gabbard. On top of that, do you know anybody that's actually rooting for Biden?
No.
Exactly.
You mean creepy Uncle Joe?
Who wants Biden?
Creepy Uncle Joe?
Give me Yang, Gabbard, or Bernie, or even Warren. But I'm so tired of Biden.
I'll tell you this, though. Whoever it is, they better put their fighting shoes on.
No, serious. Okay, whoever it is, okay, because and I want to talk about this Trump-Ukraine thing. Gosh, now this bang is kicking in. I don't know. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. But
we got a whole week to talk about it. We'll see if anybody gets impeached.
Yes, I don't think anyone's gonna get impeached.
No,
I think that Ukraine thing is just ridiculous. But anyways, that's Rich signing out along with my counterpart
Don Ochoa.
All right, and everyone have a great rest of your day, and I guess be safe, make good choices, have a great day.
Yeah.
All right, deuces.